Hi Smirconishers, welcome back to smirconish.com. This, as you know, is the editor's report, and I'm your editor, Gili. As you know, I'm going to highlight some of our best critical thinking from the website this week. That's our original content written by listeners and viewers like you. So please, if you have an idea, send it to me at editor@smirconish.com, and we would love to work with you to develop it into a full essay. So let's get right into the best critical thinking of this past week. First up, we have Gabriel Buelna, who wrote a piece called "Could a Latina as Biden's running mate be the winning ticket?", where he discusses why Biden should pick a Latina as his VP pick and how it will benefit him in the general election too. Then we have Thomas Koenig, who wrote a piece called "When It Comes to COVID, We're All Responsible," where he discusses how it's easy to blame politicians and people who run different organizations for our failings on the pandemic front, on COVID-19, and how we're handling it. But we have to look inside the mirror first and kind of examine our individual roles in this as well, not just as a collective. Then we have Kevin Perttu, who wrote a piece called "The Wild Midwest," where he discusses how the Wisconsin State Supreme Court is currently grossly partisan and how it affects the safety of the people of Wisconsin because of the overturning of the stay-at-home order. Then we have Mark Vogel, who wrote a piece called "The Appalling Politicization of the Department of Justice," where he discusses how the Department of Justice under Attorney General Bill Barr is not probably doing its job, especially when it comes to the Michael Flynn investigation. Then we have Sean Skidmore, who wrote "The Coronavirus Dilemma: Facing Risk and Finding Balance," where he discusses the ethical dilemmas involved with the coronavirus on a collective scale and how to safely reopen our economies. Then we have Margaret James with a piece called "Trumps versus Dems, Coyote versus Roadrunner," where she discusses Trump's relationship with the Democrats and how dysfunctional it is for a good government and good governance. Then we have Matt Wixon, who wrote a piece called "Class of 2020, The Path is Still There," where he advises the seniors of America as they graduate into the unknown economy, into the unknown job market, and gives them a little boost in this difficult time. Then we have J.B. Roth, who wrote a piece called "Business Owners, Heroes or Villains," where he discusses how the politicized reopening of the economy is having a drastic effect on small business owners who want to protect their livelihoods and the lives of their customers and the people that they interact with on a daily basis. Then we have Mike Fortner, who wrote a piece called "Science Should Dictate Public Policy," where he discusses how politics and science should interact to form policy, especially in times of crisis and especially in a time of health crisis. Then we have William Rothwell, who wrote an interesting piece called "Is Online College Inferior?", kind of advocating for online college and how it could be a good alternative for people who can't afford the very expensive cost of higher education today, and how it ultimately isn't that bad for the social life of students. Lastly, we have my essay for this past week called "Can Veganism Prevent the Next Pandemic?", where I discuss how veganism, or not necessarily veganism, but just a more plant-based lifestyle, could really alter the future of zoonotic diseases and prevention of the spread and the natural creation of those diseases, but it could also combat another threat to our species, which is climate change. So check out all that great content out at smirconish.com in the critical thinking section. Tune in to Smirconish radio program on SiriusXM every weekday from 9 to 12 every morning. And lastly, on CNN Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. for Smirconish. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend and see you next week.